There we go. Hi, everyone. Welcome. My name is Brian Rose. I want to welcome you to this Healthy Living webinar. Today is November 4th, 2015, and we have an awesome little webinar for you guys tonight. This is going to be fantastic. This event is sponsored by the Juice Plus Company. And as you know, we are a company of people who join together, and our mission is to inspire healthy living around the world. We are passionate about helping families stay intact through good nutrition. And before I introduce our guest to you this evening, I just want you to know that the person who invited you to be a part of this webinar tonight, they really care about you. They care that you have this information and that you have the option to decide for yourself what you do with it. And so with that, I hope that you come to watch this and to really learn with an open heart, because what you learn tonight, it can change the trajectory of your future if you allow it to. I'd like to share with you a little bit about the company. Our company, the Juice Plus Company, helps families get more fruits and vegetables. And we have a few ways that we do that. One of the ways is we have this really cool machine that grows fruits and vegetables right on your back patio with aeroponic technology. It's called the Tower Garden. It's amazing. We have some really delicious shakes that people enjoy for breakfast or for a snack or a post-workout drink, which are plant-based. They're vegan, gluten-free, non-GMO, just absolutely delicious. And my favorite product out of our product line is actually called the Juice Plus capsules. And I want to show this to you and tell you just a little bit about it. This is the Juice Plus capsules. There's 3 bottles, red, green, and purple. And in these capsules, if you've never heard of Juice Plus before, in these capsules there are vegetables, fruits, and berries. And altogether, 30 different fruits, vegetables, berries. And it's amazing. You know, I heard about Juice Plus from one of our guest speakers tonight, Dr. Valerie Miles, with my family about 10 years ago. And we were on a visit to our pediatrician's office, and we're asking about a multivitamin. And Dr. Miles recommended that really we focus more on whole food nutrition, getting as many fruits and vegetables as we could, and to help bridge the gap, that we add Juice Plus to our diet, because they have gummies for children too. We had a little boy, so it made a lot of sense. And when we started taking Juice Plus, I noticed I had more energy, I was sleeping better, my skin cleared up, I lost weight, just all these amazing changes. And over the decade that we've been eating Juice Plus as a family, we have been so healthy. And I hear so many stories of people who have experienced some really incredible health transformations with Juice Plus. And so that's what Juice Plus is, and this is the company that really cares enough about you to put together webinars like this for your education. So let's move on. I'd like to introduce to you our 2 speakers. I'll tell you a little bit about Dr. Valerie Miles. Hello, Valerie.
Hello.
Valerie is in Jacksonville, Florida, and Valerie is a very special person to my family. Valerie is our friend and our family's pediatrician. My 3 children get to go to her practice and be a part of her practice, and so it's very, it's just awesome. Dr. Miles graduated from Clemson University in 1987 and then went on to the Medical University of South Carolina in Charleston in 1991. She was in practice sort of in a small town in Colorado, and while she was there, really began having her eyes open to holistic medicine. A lot of her patients wanted to learn other ways of staying healthy and being healthy that she just simply wasn't taught in medical school. And so she continued on, and really she became one of the forerunners in holistic medicine. Actually, in December of 2000, Dr. Miles became one of the first physicians in the United States to be board certified in holistic medicine. And then after 4 more years in Colorado, she moved to Jacksonville, Florida, where, of course, we know her from, and set up a great practice. It's called Progressive Pediatrics, and they just serve some wonderful families here in Jacksonville. Dr. Miles is married to her husband, Greg, and they have a beautiful daughter in college named Rebecca. So we'll hear from Valerie in a moment. And our next guest is named Dr. Elizabeth LeDuc. And hi, Elizabeth.
Hi.
Hi. Thank you for being on with us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Dr. LeDuc was born in Tampa, Florida, and right now she lives up in the Atlanta area, right? Right, Dr. LeDuc?
Yes.
Yeah. Dr. LeDuc received her Bachelor of Science from Centre College of Kentucky and has been practicing pediatrics in the Atlanta area for over 20 years. And her practice is also very, very focused on helping children stay well through prevention first and foremost. And she's become really one of the leaders in this area in her community. Dr. LeDuc is also a runner. She competed in the Vancouver Marathon in 2007, which I think is so cool. You ran in memory of your mother, which is wonderful. And she, of course, is also married and has two beautiful daughters as well. So thank you for being with us, Dr. LeDuc.
Thank you for having me.
All right, it's our pleasure. Well, let me tell you guys the format of this webinar tonight. This is going to be a bit interactive near the end, and if you're watching this live, on the right hand, at least on my computer, it's on the right hand side of my screen, I have a little sidebar that says Webinar Jam, and up at the top of that sidebar, there's a few buttons, and there is a button that says Chat. If you see the little speech bubble icon, the chat icon, go ahead there, and could somebody just like go there and type hello? I want to make sure you have found it. That chat bubble, hey, I see a few people. Okay, great. Good, it's working. So that chat bubble is a great place for you if you have questions during this webinar. You can go ahead and type those in there. Hi Heather, hi Kayla, I see your messages there. Great. Jamie and Sheila, Lucy, perfect. Hello, hello, hello. Lots of hellos. I have those messages set for private, so the moderators are the only ones who are going to be able to see those, but we want to give you the chance to ask questions that we'll sort of choose from and ask the doctors at the end after a sort of some preliminary questions that we'll talk about. Okay, so if you think of questions, type them there, and we'll go through and we'll find those for you, and we'll ask the doctors. So, Dr. LeDuc, can we start with you? I have a question for you.
Okay.
All right, great. So first question is, how did you hear about these little fruit, veggie, and berry capsules? Who's the person that was lucky enough to share it with you?
Well, I first learned about Juice Plus about 3 weeks after my mom passed away from a very aggressive form of leukemia. I had joined a really busy pediatric practice and was grieving and seeing about 40 patients a day. And at the same time, I was seeing patients that had chronic inflammatory conditions like asthma and eczema, and not getting better on traditional medical treatments like antibiotics and nebulizer treatments and things like that. I myself, since I started practicing pediatrics, used to suffer from a yearly sinus infection because these little people carry really big germs. And so, that's just something that I struggled with every single year since I've started in peds. At the same time, I had 2 small daughters at home, and they were very, very picky eaters. And I had a husband with really high cholesterol. And so I was interested when some patients came in and they told me about this product. They told me about Juice Plus, that it was fruits and vegetables dehydrated and put into capsular or chewable form, and immediately I was interested. So that's how I learned about Juice Plus, from my patients. And isn't it interesting that many times we as physicians learn the most from our patients? So that's my story.
Oh, that's great. So just patients would come in and they would tell you, you would ask, what are you taking, and you heard Juice Plus enough that it caught your attention?
That's right.
Okay, that's great. Dr. Miles, what about you? How did you hear about Juice Plus?
Well, I was in a situation where I'd started my own practice when I moved to Jacksonville. And so I think I was 4 years into that. And because I was a little bit unique in this area of having come from Colorado, where people are more accepting of that holistic mindset and wellness and prevention, I had sort of a niche practice where people would come to me and tell me about all different kinds of products. So I was a little bit different. I was very stressed at the time because I was trying to make this practice work and didn't really know how to do that. and yet I was open-minded. So when one particular mom actually came in with her children who used to come in sick all the time, used to literally see her twice a month, and hadn't seen her in a year, and she just brought them for well checks. And so, I said, you must be doing something right. And she said, yeah, ever since I started giving them Juice Plus, they hardly ever get sick anymore. And I, hear that a lot. At the time, I thought, oh, okay, well, sounds too good to be true. And she said, well, you've heard about it, haven't you? And of course I hadn't. So that got me a little bit like, I should know about this. But I was also of that mindset that I need to get on to the next room, I'm busy, and I think a lot of us physicians are like that. And so I asked her to leave me some information, and she said, well, is it okay if I bring the scientific research packet back so you can go through that? Well, we don't hear that ever about a nutritional supplement. And so I became intrigued, and it took me about 4 months to actually look at the information, and I'm really grateful that she was persistent, because once I really decided she wasn't going to stop calling and I dug into the research, I was very impressed. This was 11 years ago, and at the time there was 13 or 14 studies. Now there's over 30. And that was excellent research, and so I became intrigued. So what's really great is I thought about my family first. Because I was so skeptical, I thought we should be guinea pigs first, and my husband didn't eat nearly enough fruits and vegetables. So I first thought about my family. My child could be healthier. My husband needs to be healthier, and I have lots of things to prevent in my own life. So I didn't really think about my patients first. That's how it started for me.
I see. So for you, it really was kind of as a wife and a mom that it attracted your attention to begin with.
Exactly. And I think that's, we're that first. We're human beings first and physicians second. So,
right.
So it's a good thing to know about doctors.
Yeah. That's great. So, Dr. LeDuc, you heard about Juice Plus from some of your patients, and it caught your attention. What happened then? Like, how did this evolve so that you became such an advocate of this whole food nutrition supplement for people?
Well, interestingly enough, I want to preface my answer by saying that in 4 years of medical school and 3 years of residency, I was offered, believe it or not, 1 hour of optional nutrition class. And yet,
1 hour.
1 hour in 7 years. And yet at the same time, I always had the intuitive sense that what we put in our bodies 3 or more times a day has something to do with how we feel and with how healthy we are. But I really didn't understand the difference between multivitamins and whole foods. And I kept asking the question to this one particular patient who would come in with the really healthy kids, very similar to what Valerie was saying. I kept asking the question, well, how much calcium is in it? How much vitamin C is in it? Can you not give me a list of the vitamins that are in this? And at that point in my life, I did not understand the difference between the synergy of the vitamins present in nature's food and knowing that that was far more powerful than synthetic vitamins that usually just kind of go through our system and we pee them out and they don't do very much good. So I kept asking that question. I knew I had a lot to learn. And at the same time, I did have picky eaters at home. So I did what Dr. Miles did as well. I decided to put my family on it. And at the time, my youngest daughter had just turned 4. And so our whole family was eligible to participate in the Children's Health Study. And I'll talk more about that later. But basically, we were able, my husband and I were able to go on the product, and our children went on the product free for 3 years. Back then it was 3 years, and now it's 4 years. They've extended this to 4 years. And what we first noticed, the very first thing we noticed, was that 3 weeks after starting Juice Plus, my 4-year-old daughter asked me to cut her up a green pepper. Well, my husband and I were floored because this is someone who just didn't eat things like that normally. And speaking of my husband, his cholesterol dropped 100 points within the first 6 months of being on Juice Plus with no other dietary changes. The sinus infections I was telling you about that I had every year, haven't had one in, 2015? Haven't had a sinus infection in 14 years since I started this product. So my whole family started seeing the benefits. And I knew also that there were benefits that we weren't seeing, and this is because the patient that introduced me to Juice Plus had started leaving evidence-based research studies on my desk. And I knew that changes were also happening at the cellular level. I knew that Juice Plus was actually bioavailable nutrition, meaning that it contained the vitamins that were actually going into our bloodstream and doing good things for the body. So that was my biggest hurdle, was getting over the fact that you couldn't say exactly what was in it. You couldn't say there's this much vitamin C in it and this much vitamin E in it. It's that there's a little bit of everything in it. You know, an apple, Brian, has vitamin C as one component, and I think that component of vitamin C is about 7 milligrams. But when you combine it with all the other phytonutrients and antioxidants that are in that apple, it's equivalent to about 250 milligrams of vitamin C. So it really didn't matter. What mattered was that it was an apple and that it was juiced and the water and the sugar were taken out and put into a capsular form. So I had a lot to learn. And I got very interested when I saw these changes in my own family. So I started going to nutrition conferences. I started listening to what my patients were telling me about what they had to eat. And I met other like-minded pediatricians like you, Valerie. And with your encouragement, I joined the American Holistic Medical Association. And this introduction of Juice Plus into my life was really the doorway for going into holistic medicine. I ended up leaving that practice after over 10 years of recommending Juice Plus and taking it myself and deciding I wanted to practice medicine differently, see less people, stop doing 5-minute checkups. And I decided to branch out on my own, and I opened my own Center for Pediatric Wellness. I left with 80 patients, and I now have close to 3,000. So it's done really well, and I recommend Juice Plus to every single one of them. So it's been a wonderful journey for me, and you know what I've found is that if we give the body the right amount of food and water and rest and physical activity and a spiritual center, it usually heals on its own. So.
Wow, what an amazing journey! Thank you so much for sharing that with us, Dr. Miles. How did this evolve for you? You heard about Juice Plus, you wanted it just as a mom, as a wife for your own family, and now it's really grown for you in your practice. How did that happen?
Well, I had more hurdles than Elizabeth, I think, because I not only had that hurdle of learning the difference between whole food nutrition and multivitamins, and I remember saying, how much calcium is in here? How can I recommend this if I don't know how much calcium is in here? So I really did have that hurdle to overcome, but I also had hurdles to overcome in terms of skepticism. You know, we just are bombarded with so many products, and most have no scientific backing. So I had to really dig into the research, and I was worried about the company. I was worried about my reputation, you know, in recommending something that was less than or something that was tainted in some way, and that was a problem for me with the industry. You know, you can't go to the store and buy Juice Plus, and that was the thing that disturbed me at the beginning, and that was 11 years ago, and now it's one of my favorite things about Juice Plus, because there's so much to know that's different. There's that educational component that people really need to understand. It is not like anything on the shelf, and it is much better if a friend or a familiar person shares it with you because they care about you. So I had a lot of hurdles to overcome there, and I would say it took me even longer to get clear with the ethics of recommending a product and potentially earning income from that. So there's physicians that do a lot of things with Juice Plus. I mean, some people are like Elizabeth and I, where they become representatives for the company and then earn money from the sharing of Juice Plus in the sales. But there are others that I know that don't want to do that, and so they take the money that they earn and give it to charity, or they don't become distributors and they just recommend a Juice Plus representative for people to get their Juice Plus from. So there's many facets of that. But for me, I knew I was going to have all of my staff in my office take Juice Plus, and I was going to pay for it. And so in order to get the best price for me or to have it be valuable for me, I knew being a representative was smart. So that's how I started, and I was very interested. Like Elizabeth has a small office, I have a small office. If 2 people are out, it's a bad day. So I wanted everybody to stay as healthy as possible, and the immune system studies just support that. Everyone who's been on Juice Plus for any period of time knows they get sick less often. And so I wanted that for my staff. But I took, I would say, the first 3 or 4 years just really getting clear with ethics. I had to look up the AMA Code of Ethics on the sales of nutritional supplements, which is an actual a code, that's a page, and Juice Plus, how we share it in particular is very simple, and Juice Plus meets all of those standards. So that's something that I teach other physicians about, because it's usually our biggest stumbling block. So for me, once I got through all of that, I probably became the biggest fan. I think that it is so difficult to get the amount of fruits and vegetables that we need on a daily basis, which is 7 to 13 servings. And that's the minimum. So if you're under stress, if you're an athlete, if you, I don't know, who doesn't have stress, you potentially could need double or triple the amount of fruits and vegetables, and they should be ripe in order to get the most nutrition. So I knew that I wasn't doing that even as a healthy eater. I'm practically vegetarian, and I still couldn't get enough fruits and vegetables to meet that standard. So I knew that my patients weren't. I know thousands of picky eaters. I have 7,000 patients in my practice, and so once I really saw changes for myself and my family, sleeping better, more energy, hardly ever getting sick. If I did, I got better much faster. These simple things that made a huge difference in our lives. My husband will tell you he's more regular. My daughter stopped having a congested nose constantly, all of those things. That's when I stepped out, when I got clear on the ethics, and I stepped out and I actually started sharing with the sickest patients, the ones that I hadn't been able to help, even with my natural approach, medicines, and they still were chronically having some condition. And that's when I really started becoming a big fan, because I saw dramatic changes that I could sit here all night and tell you about. But I don't have to, because the research backs it all up. So that's how it evolved for me. Yeah.
Wow. That's great. And I know that there's a lot of physicians, Dr. Miles, who are looking, like, you entered this field because you wanted to help people be healthy, and that's why people become doctors. They want to help people be healthy. And your heart that you've shown by really embracing this and by finding a way to make it work. I mean, that's really admirable that you went through that journey of learning, how do I do this the right way in my practice, but still make it available to my patients, still make it available to my staff, even, coming over those hurdles, because I can imagine they were probably pretty big in your mind.
Yeah, and in reality.
And in reality, yes,
Exactly.
absolutely, yeah. It's great. Dr. LeDuc, what's your vision for the future with this? I know you are recommending Juice Plus now. I mean, that's a piece of the puzzle. What's your big vision for what's down the road for all of us?
Well, I want to quote my mentor, Rick Du Bois, who's an internist and an infectious disease specialist in Atlanta, who also recommends Juice Plus to his patients. Rick says that we don't have a healthcare system in this country. We have a disease management system. And the system will manage your disease very easily and very readily, but it's up to you to manage your health. And so recommending Juice Plus to my patients is actually helping them take charge of their health from a very early age. And as they enter adulthood, we know that the benefits of these fruits and vegetables on their immune system, on the protection of their DNA, on prevention of chronic inflammatory illnesses like asthma and eczema and diabetes, the list goes on, ADHD, is going to help them. And to this end, the Juice Plus company has helped close to 1 million families across the world. By the way, I don't know if we mentioned, Valerie, it's in 27 countries, but it's helped close to 1 million family members get healthy. And the way they're doing this study is they've offered free Juice Plus to children. So for every adult that orders Juice Plus, a child gets to go on it free for 4 years. And they answer some surveys. And I'm just going to read you the results of the surveys at 4 to 8 months, at 1 year, and again at 3 years. People in these families are eating less fast food and drinking fewer soft drinks. They're drinking more water. They're visiting the doctor less. They're missing fewer days of school and work, and we know how important that is. They're taking fewer over-the-counter and prescription drugs. They're more aware of their health and wellness. And 99% report after 4 to 8 months, 1 year, and 3 years of being on Juice Plus a positive benefit of some kind. My own personal goal for my practice is, and I shared this with Valerie the other night, is to have 200 families enter the Children's Health Study by the end of February. And I'm really excited about making this happen.
That's so awesome. I wonder how many doctors I've encountered have a personal goal like that. It's just so great. It's fantastic. Valerie, what about you? What do you envision for the future with this?
Well, you know, our mission for our practice, Progressive Pediatrics, is optimal health for every child and family, and really to change the face of healthcare in America for children. And what that means, I mean, that's where we're coming from in our passion for our practice. And so it's such a match for Juice Plus, because this company is committed to inspiring healthy living around the world. And this whole raising children, understanding what it feels like to stay well and to know how to get healthy if they're not, you know, that's a way to grow up. And when you grow up that way, you might stray a little bit as a teenager or college student, but your baseline and your programming is, I know how to stay healthy and I like it. And so that's how you're going to raise your own family. And so for me, it's this great marriage between my practice and the Juice Plus mission to change healthcare by having that ripple effect across generations, where the children who are growing up healthy now because their parents are doing the hard work to actually make that happen. It's not easy the way our country's organized today and the way our culture is to choose healthy. There's a lot of pressure, especially here in the South, against that, and it takes something to then make a change and be that for your family, and then that ripple effect continues across generations, because those kids raise their own kids healthier, and those kids raise their own kids healthier, and that's the only way healthcare in America is going to change, because I'm afraid the government's not going to be doing that for us. That we really have to start, like Elizabeth said, taking care of our own health. So that's what I'm inspired about.
That's very inspirational. Absolutely. What a great vision for the future. During this time, there's been a few questions that have come in, and one of them, actually 1, 2, 3. There's a few about like specific issues, specific conditions that people have, and people are wondering, can Juice Plus help this? And among it, there's things like obesity, ovarian syndrome, different things like that. What do you say to patients who say, could Juice Plus help me with this specific issue?
I can answer that.
Yeah.
I just want to mention that I think that Juice Plus, it doesn't claim to cure anything, but the antioxidants and phytonutrients from fruits and vegetables are great for any chronic inflammatory illness, and the ones that you just mentioned are just that. So they actually decrease inflammation, and in fact, antioxidants are the only things that can do that. And I wanted to mention too, because I didn't say it earlier, that the patients in my practice, and I don't know about you, Valerie, that have asthma, after they've started Juice Plus, they've gone off their preventive inhalers. And as we know, asthma is another one of those chronic inflammatory diseases. Same thing with eczema.
Right, and I really love this question. I used to hate this question, but I really love this question of, will Juice Plus help my fill in the blank? So I really appreciate where that's coming from. And what I like to say is that, fruits and vegetables, if you just look at all the research, there's hundreds and hundreds of studies on the more fruits and vegetables you eat, the less likely you are to have any condition. And so we know that, and then we know that Juice Plus does all sorts of things to the body, over 30 research studies that you can find online if you're a science geek like we are. But the thing is that it won't hurt because it's only fruits and vegetables, and it has great potential to help any condition that you can name. I think the reason that obesity is helped is because there's this conditioning that the brain gets when it gets these micronutrients from Juice Plus, and we've seen it. I have seen it in so many children, just like you described. They wander into the kitchen and ask for a bowl of raw spinach when they would never have done that before. So there's that turning to eat healthier, which then has this indirect effect of you may lose weight, you may actually gain weight if you need to gain weight. Just get healthier. So I always say, I don't know if it's going to help, but it's not going to hurt.
Thank you. One of the people that left a comment here is a brand new Juice Plus customer. They just started taking Juice Plus yesterday, and Carol is wondering if there's anything that she should be looking for over the next few weeks, and she's wondering in particular if there's any type of negative feeling when first getting started with Juice Plus.
Oh, I'd love to answer that question. I just actually answered this question for a new customer today. The caution I always give people with Juice Plus is it's so packed with fruit and vegetable nutrition that sometimes our bodies aren't used to seeing if we don't eat that way, that if you have a chronic condition or if you haven't been eating healthfully for a while, you will experience a cleanse with Juice Plus, and that can be uncomfortable. And that's intestinal generally. So what I always recommend people do that have any kind of chronic condition or have not been eating as healthfully as possible, that they start slowly. Ideally you take red and green and purple Juice Plus because that's the rainbow of colors, but instead of starting with 2 and 2 and 2, you might only start with 1 if you've been very sick, and then do that for a few days and then add another and then add another. Or just, if you're fairly healthy, start with half for a few days, make sure you feel all right, and then add the next. My husband didn't do this. He swallowed all 6 capsules at one time and is very proud of the fact that he can do that and didn't have any negative effects. So generally no, but it's always better to be safe than sorry, I think, because if you can not be uncomfortable, it's good.
Mm-hmm. Cool, thank you. One of the people on the side asked about, is it possible to have too much Juice Plus? Can children overdose?
That is such a great question. It's true with multivitamins. We always caution people. They have to, kids will get into vitamins because they think they taste good and swallow the whole bottle and have to go to the ER before they die to get their stomach pumped. This is nothing like that because, as you'll notice when you look at the label, it's just food. It's called nutrition facts, not supplement facts. So we've had kids eat whole bags of gummies. I'd keep them up high because they are really yummy, and it just causes a big cleanse. It's not a problem. You definitely don't have to go to the ER to get your stomach pumped.
I'll show the label. So this is our Juice Plus Vineyard blend, and they all have a nutrition facts label right here, and this is the same label that you'll find on any food product, as opposed to a multivitamin, which would have, what's it called, a supplement facts?
Supplement facts.
Supplement facts, yeah. So this is food, F-O-O-D, food. It's like salad bar in a capsule, right? We're getting short on time. There's one more question that I'd love to throw your way, and it has to do with people who are diabetic, children who have type 1 diabetes. Is it safe for diabetics?
Elizabeth, do you want to answer that one?
It's absolutely safe for diabetics. I would give the capsules and sprinkle them on food rather than give the chewables, especially if the diabetes has just started and you're monitoring blood sugar, because there is a little bit of tapioca sugar in the chewables, which is fine, but when you're monitoring somebody's blood sugar, I would think that we would want to start with the capsules, and if they can't swallow a capsule, you can just sprinkle a bite of it into, say, a spoonful of yogurt, and take that.
Okay.
And the other thing, too, I think, if I can say really quickly, is that Juice Plus Complete Shake Mix is very low glycemic index. Yeah. So it's wonderful for diabetics because it doesn't spike your blood sugar like most of the other shake mixes on the market. And the other thing is that we worry about diabetics as physicians because they're missing all kinds of fruit nutrition because they're advised not to eat much fruit because they count as too many grams of carbs, but then they're missing all those beautiful colors in their diet. So it's a wonderful way to get better nutrition as a diabetic without getting the sugar.
That's great. Thank you. If you are watching this webinar and you're not currently taking Juice Plus, your children aren't taking Juice Plus, we want to invite you to get started as soon as possible. This nutrition is so important for you and for your family. And Elizabeth mentioned the Children's Health Study before, where when an adult orders Juice Plus, they can sponsor a child who can receive Juice Plus for free for up to 4 years. And that's a wonderful study where the whole family really can get started on this health journey together. And so I want to just encourage you, if you're not taking Juice Plus, go to the person who shared this with you, this webinar, this video, and ask them how you can get started on Juice Plus. We all have, all of the representatives have a website, and it's very simple to go and to order it from your friend's website. And then when it arrives in the mail, you're going to get some great resources as well. Our customer service experience really is an educational-based experience, and you are going to enter into just a great journey with your family together. Some people have been wondering about the rebroadcast of this, if this video will be available. Yes. If you are registered for this webinar, we will be emailing you the video link to the rebroadcast, and you can share it with anyone you would like. And we also are excited because next Sunday night, in just a few days, we have another special webinar that I encourage all of you to register for as well. This webinar is another Healthy Living webinar, and it's featuring two families, Dan and Julie Ames in Fredericksburg, Virginia, and Tim and Caitlin Draper in upstate New York, who have gone through this health journey with their family. And tonight we got to hear from two wonderful physicians from their perspective. And if you tune in on Sunday night, you're going to get to hear firsthand about the transformational experience of these two families when they started focusing on whole food nutrition. So when this webinar is finished, it will automatically redirect to the registration page, and you can go ahead and get registered tonight so you don't forget about it. If you're watching the YouTube rebroadcast, the website where you can register for the webinar is www.healthy-living-webinars.com with a dash in between the words. I want to give our two guest speakers a chance to give us any closing thoughts that you would like to before we close out for the evening. So, Dr. LeDuc, is there anything you'd like to leave us with tonight?
Well, just thank you for having me, and this is so exciting being able to share my own personal journey and the journey of my patients with everybody here. But I do have to say one last thing. I noticed this question on the side about vitamin D supplements, and Juice Plus does not contain vitamin D. Vitamin D is actually a hormone that we get from the sunshine. And taking Juice Plus and vitamin D together, there's not a problem with that. That was the question. But thank you so much for having me, and look forward to speaking with you all again.
Thank you very much. Dr. Miles.
You know, I so appreciate being able to share too on more of a personal level, because I think it's a journey that a lot of physicians follow when they're introduced to any kind of a supplement. And so I would just encourage people to share with friends and family, but also with physicians as people first, because they're just like friends and family. They need to be on their own health journey. We're under a lot of stress these days, so you guys can be that army out there sharing and helping others, and I'm just so grateful for this chance to share that, and also this company. So thanks, Brian.
Wow, thank you. Thank you very much. The website, once more, that you can go to register for the webinar is www.healthy-living-webinars.com. Thank you very much, and we'll talk to you all soon. Bye.
Bye.
I know for my family, we do not get the fruits and vegetables we need because we are so busy, and we are constantly trying to do what's convenient and easy, and so that's where Juice Plus has really come in and helped our family.
It's a great way to get more fruits and vegetables, and you could look at it as a healthy fast food option. Now we have our complete smoothie that takes maybe 5 minutes to make in the morning.
And it's nutrition on the go, and now we have the bars, which is even better.
And the tower garden where I can eat my fruits and vegetables off my patio fresh.
I use everything that belongs to Juice Plus. I love the trio, the Orchard Garden and Vineyard capsules, because That's my insurance policy.
I have 2 smoothies every single day, and to the smoothies I add my trio blend of vineyard and garden and orchard.
I use gummies for a healthy snack, and I have a tower garden so I can grow good health on my deck as well.
Whether you love Juice Plus, whether you love Tower Gardens, whether you love the Complete, you have something for everybody. It doesn't matter if you're 18 or if you're 99.
Your body knows good stuff. Juice Plus surpasses that.
It goes beyond just the capsules or beyond the chewables. It goes beyond Complete. It really has to do with what kind of food are you eating and
Discovering what does health mean to me.
The Juice Plus products are just a doorway to people creating a healthier lifestyle
and making it easy for people to get on the road to healthier living.
Juice Plus is raw, vine-ripened fruits and vegetables in a capsule or a gummy. I like to call it a salad bar in a capsule. And it's the most thoroughly researched nutritional name brand product on the planet.
I'm a physical therapist, and so the science behind Juice Plus is important to me. But when you combine the science with what it's actually doing in people's lives, it's a no-brainer.
And that really helped me because when you go into stores, there's shelves and shelves of product and you don't even know what it is. If it's what's in the capsule or the tablet, you have no clue. With Juice Plus, you know.
People want to know. People want to feel better. And they want something simple and doable and easy. And, you know, we get so tired of all these diets and lifestyle plans that are so complicated with pages and pages you have to follow. And this is easy.
You know, life is just crazy, busy, fast-paced world now, and so it's just nice to have an answer like Juice Plus where we can get something that's convenient and simple, because so many times we're just looking for a really fast fix, and you can't get much faster than capsules and soft chews and getting it down quickly. So you don't have to worry about your kids not liking the taste, because there's no taste. You just swallow a capsule. So you don't have to worry about how am I going to prepare this or hide it or be all clever. It's just like, take your Juice Plus.
The fact that it's an easy, simple way for me to get this in my body every single day without thinking about it.
I don't know how much simpler it could get that they actually did the work for us and I don't have to juice.
I don't always have time to chop and dice and slice and clean and all of that. So Juice Plus is a lifesaver.
Where can you go in life and get that? I go to bed every night and go, thank you, Juice Plus.